This will go down as one of my favorite sequences in Congress history. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's looking out for Americans and Americans' health, advocates against Big Pharma advocate Elizabeth Warren on vaccines, and it goes exactly as you would expect it to go. There are fireworks here. You got to check this out.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, last November, while you were under consideration to become Secretary of Health and Human Services, Mr. Kennedy, you said, quote, "If vaccines are working for somebody, I'm not going to take them away." No exceptions, no ifs, ands, or buts. You would not take away vaccines from anyone who wanted them. Then last week, you announced that the COVID-19 vaccine is no longer approved for healthy people under the age of 65. In announcing the change, you said the vaccine will be available for anyone who wants it. Now, obviously, both things cannot be true at the same moment. So let's clear this up right now, Secretary Kennedy. Will you tell America that all adults and all children over 6 months of age are eligible to get a COVID booster at their local pharmacy today?
Anybody can get the booster.
I'm sorry?
Anybody can get it, Senator.
Anybody. So you're saying that is now the official rule of HHS. Anybody is eligible to get a booster by just walking into the pharmacy.
It's not recommended for healthy people.
No. If you don't recommend, then the consequence of that in many states is that you can't walk into a pharmacy and get one. It means insurance companies don't have to cover the $200 or so cost. As Senator Dr. Cassidy said, you are effectively denying people vaccines.
We're not going to recommend a product for which there's no clinical data for that indication. Is that what I should be doing?
What you should be doing is honoring your promise that you made when you were looking to get confirmed in this job.
You're going like this.
And that is, you promised that you would not take away vaccines from anyone who wanted them. You just changed the classification of the COVID vaccine.
I'm not taking them away from people, Senator.
It takes it away if you can't get it from your pharmacist.
Well, most Americans are going to be able to get it from their pharmacy for free. Most Americans will be able to get it from their pharmacy for free.
The question is everyone who wants it. That was your promise, Mr. Kennedy.
I never promised that I was going to recommend products for which there is no indication.
When you said...
And I know you've taken $855,000 from pharmaceutical companies, Senator.
Did you hold up a big sign saying that you were lying when you said that? Because you are the one who said you would not take them away. Now, Senator Kennedy,
I'm not taking them away from anybody.
Secretary,
you want me to indicate a product for which there is no clinical data?
Senator,
is that what you want?
Secretary Kennedy, you said you wouldn't, and now you did.
I'm not taking them away. Everybody can get access to them.
No, they can't walk into a pharmacy the way they could last month and get access to
it depends on the state. It depends on the states.
A year ago,
but they can still get it. Everybody can get it. Everybody can get it, Senator.
So look, let's move on. You clearly are taking away vaccines. I've seen the list for what's coming up next, and that is the agenda for the next CDC vaccine panel. And first up is ratifying your COVID actions. Second is hepatitis B is on the agenda. So should Americans expect you to take away hepatitis vaccine access as well, even though you promised not to?
As I said, I'm not taking vaccines away from anybody.
Okay, same answer, right? You're just going to deny that when people can't get access, that you're not taking it away. Then let me ask you, is that the same game you're going to play with me?
You want me to recommend every product in the world?
No,
so that without any clinical trial data.
Through on your promises.
Yeah, my promise was to give.
A month ago, we could get COVID vaccines by just walking.
You can still get COVID vaccines, Senator.
You are taking that away.
No, you are still. You can still get the COVID vaccines, and Medicare will still pay for them, and Medicaid will still pay for them.
Tell the head of the CDC that if she refused to sign off on your changes to the childhood vaccine schedule, that she had to resign.
No, I told her that she had to resign because I asked her, are you a trustworthy person? And she said no. So
What?
if you had an employee who told you they weren't trustworthy, would you ask them to resign, Senator?
So I'm sorry, but this is not what she has said publicly. She has
Well,
said
I'm
she
not
was
surprised about that.
pre-approved. So you're saying she's lying?
Yes. Every conversation I had with her, there
And
were
let me get this
witnesses.
straight. This is the same person that less than a month earlier, you stood next to her and described her as unimpeachable. And you had full confidence in her, and that you had full confidence in her scientific credentials. And in a month, she became a liar? Is
Yeah,
that what
you
you're
should
saying?
ask her what changed. And by the way, a month ago, you were voting against her. Oh, because you thought she was either incompetent, ineligible, or unsuited to the task.
I voted
Now I
against her
agree
because
with
I
you.
was afraid she was going to bend the knee to you and Donald Trump. And it looks like she didn't bend the knee, so you fired her. Look, you're putting America's babies' health at risk, America's seniors' health at risk, all Americans' health at risk, and you should resign.
Who needs a subscription to Hulu, Netflix, or any of that stuff when you have Congress hearings like this? Has Elizabeth Warren ever acknowledged that she was wrong once? I mean, what RFK Jr. said here is absolutely true. Elizabeth Warren is making money hand over fist. How is she making this? Is it because her salary pays her that much? No. Is it because she's so smart that she's making money through other ventures? No. She's doing this by dictating policy, determining what gets passed and what doesn't get passed, and then people are paying her on the back end. Like all these big pharmaceutical companies decide, you know what, I think every child needs to get vaccines before going to school, this, that, or the other. And they pay these lackeys like Elizabeth Warren to uphold and push their agenda. It is clear as day. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has enough money. He's not doing this for the money. He's not doing this for the fame because he's getting harassed. He's very much like Trump, where he's only doing this because he thinks God chose him to do this. God wants him to protect the kids. You can try and deny it, but the rates of autism in children has gone up exponentially in the past 30, 40 years. Is there something wrong about asking the question, why is that? What in America is going on that this is happening? Americans are suffering needlessly. We need to figure out the root cause. That way we can fix it and make sure this doesn't happen again. Do you think it's a coincidence that the Amish people have 0 cases of autism and they're constantly being tested to see whether or not they have autism? Call me a conspiracy theorist, call me a skeptic all you want, but I happen to think that there's direct links between the amount of vaccines that a young child receives and their likelihood for autism. And when you watch a case in Congress like this, you really just have to have a good rule of thumb. Anybody who's trying to talk over the other person and not let them speak is generally on the wrong side of the argument. Because if you ask a question, if Warren wants to ask RFK a question, you ask it and then you listen. You wait for them to have a response and you wait for them to finish. Then you can have your rebuttal afterwards. But when you won't even let him get a word in edgewise and you constantly try and talk down to him like he's some crazy guy, lunatic, doesn't deserve to be in the position, that's when people are going to become resentful. And why are we voting Elizabeth Warren in? If she's not able to run a conversation, how on earth can we expect her to run part of the government? It's absolutely asinine. It's just another case of the greedy people are getting angry that their free supply of money is going to be coming to an end. Elizabeth Warren didn't even flinch when RFK Jr. said $855,000 that this lady took from Big Pharma. If you ask me, if you're working in government positions, you should not be able to take a dime from anybody else, any other groups, aside from your respected paycheck that you receive. Does nobody else recognize the conflict of interest that Elizabeth Warren is getting paid that much? She's obviously doing something in return. They're not just giving her close to $1 million because they like her personality. They're doing it because they expect favors in return. It's clear she's compromised and selling out the American people. Anybody with eyes would be able to tell. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this down below. How do you think RFK Jr. handled himself, and what are your thoughts on Elizabeth Warren? Do you think that she's right about all these vaccinations and every kid should be receiving them? Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear that. And if you enjoyed, make sure to smash that like, comment, subscribe, and wish you guys nothing but the best. Till next time.